Well, inflation, price increases, the cost of living, all things that we have heard a lot about in the last year. Whether it was your grocery bill, the price of gas, or your rent, you too have likely felt that sting. We wanted to dig a bit into that as we head into the new year. For that, we've reached personal finance expert Enoch Omololu. Enoch Omololu, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me on, Riley.
So, we've been hearing a lot about a couple of words lately, inflation and recession. I guess, what sorts of financial pressures are people facing as we head into the new year?
Well, it's a combination of many things. You have the holiday spending and the pressures that come with that. But then you have what we've been dealing with for a while now, which is the high cost of groceries. And rent hasn't abated either. So high rents, high cost of groceries, and add on the holiday spending, and you have basically individuals tightening their budgets and trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about newcomers specifically because you help a lot of newcomers with financial advice and getting started here in Canada. What sort of added pressure, I guess, are people who are new to this country facing when it comes to the rising cost of food, for example, and inflation?
Yeah, actually, from my experience and just with chatting with folks, is rent is really one of the big ones. Like the rent has been it's been a problem this year in particular, and more so in the last few months. Plus, of course, increased cost of groceries, and then just jobs as well. Like the job market, it doesn't look like it is cooling, but the word on the street from when you talk to actual people who are looking for jobs is that jobs are not they're far and few between these days. So a combination of just having difficulties getting jobs, plus the increased rents, and of course more expensive groceries. All of that ties up together to really put pressures on new Canadians that I've been communicating with.
Yeah, you talk about the rising cost of rent, the job market that we're seeing, wages not keeping up with some of these jobs, and of course the rising cost of groceries. Groceries slated to go up anywhere between 5 and 10% in the coming year. What's your best advice for people if they're looking to sort of keep their costs and their expenses in check?
Well, I would say cut your spending where possible. When it comes to non-discretionary things like groceries, there's only so much you can do for cutting costs. So in that case, you just do what you can. For example, you use coupons where you can, shop around, buy generic stuff, limits, just anything you can afford to do without, then you do away with those. On the other hand, with regards to just general finances, I would be advising people to do their best to stay off high interest debt at this point, just because you can't tell where the economy is going with the rising rates and all of that. Best to sort of minimize high interest debt right now and just manage what you have, and do your best if possible to also pay off the any high interest debts you are currently carrying.
Aside from the cost of groceries and costs that are rising, what do you think 2023 will bring when it comes to personal finances?
It's tough to make a judgment call right now, just because there's so many things in flux. But what I see and what I suspect is that we will see like the real, maybe some level of a recession. Some level is sort of difficult to quantify what this is going to look like. But we could also see something that would look like a stagflation type economy, where you have like high unemployment coupled with high inflation. That is, if the central bank is unable to achieve what they are trying to achieve quickly, and they have to further raise rates. So a combination of this could happen in the new year. So stagflation, which is what they call it. Hopefully it's not too crazy, but yeah, we could face some financial pain, I think, in the new year.
Maybe a bit of a bigger question, but what needs to happen in order to bring things back into the realm of affordability?
It's tough because, like I mentioned, if we have a scenario where stagflation is actually a possibility, that is, you have high unemployment coupled with high inflation, the central bank would need to, in my opinion, still focus on getting inflation back in check, because that is just that has so many offshoots into so many other financial and economic troubles. So, of course, that means we may still see increased rates, which people are not wanting at all. But increased rates may be in our future, like even further increased rates, and of course that trickles down into higher mortgage debt or higher mortgage rates, higher interest rates on loans, higher interest rates on so many other things, higher interest rates on cost of goods and services and all of that, which of course means in the end of it all, it means financial pressures, financial pain across the board.
Yeah. Enoch Omololu, I appreciate your time and your insights today. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, Riley.